Vincenzo'S Go Crypto Investing. In this quick afternoon update, we're going to go into the Bitcoin price. You can see it pumped from the last time we talked. We were down in a consolidation in this area right here, right? We were looking at this area that for the last few days. Make that a little bit bigger, down right in there, and then we broke out of that. And then you can see what we were talking about earlier. See down here the volume spike? We were down in here when we talked last time, and you can see the big volume spike that we got in the 3-hour time frame. And if we zoom out on the 3-hour, you can see that candle is the biggest candle it's had since all the way back into this group way back here, right? So we were looking for that, and that was a confirmed breakout out of that little miniature pattern that we were in. And then now we pumped up to that 20,273 or that 200-day moving average, right? And that's one of the targets we were looking at. And now our next target that we're looking at is the top part of the white support zone. If it can start to consolidate up here and even shoot all the way up to 24,011 is our in-between target of this lower target and this upper target that we feel, or I feel, we've been talking about for a while since it's been consolidating down here. When we were looking at this right there, right? Then it had another leg down, but it made a higher high. Then it consolidated up in a rising wedge channel type pattern. And now it's come up to the first upper resistance. But sometimes what these do is they hit this and they start to trade back down. And then they got to retest some lower support down here, right? So we're going to see how that plays out over the next few hours today or two. This isn't going to take longer probably than a few hours. And what I would watch for on the immediate shorter time frames, if you fall back down from here, your first major area would be this 200-day. In the short time frame, we're in the 5-minute, coming back down and back testing this rising channel and seeing if you can hold it. Because if you came down and bounced on it and started to trade up, that'd be a bullish consolidation and confirming a breakout. If you could hold this on a retest and within the next hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, this 200 days going to be straddling that area. So that's what I would look for to remain bullish on any kind of consolidation down, right? You got to hold this old upper resistance, see resistance. If we even go back farther, you'll see multiple hits of resistance. See this? Some more resistance there. This is the one we just looked at. And then if you go down, there's more. You can see here it pumped up, and this is what classic. We pumped up like we are now, but you see when it came back down to back test it, it failed it, and it fell right through and then came back into the trading triangle and traded all the way back down eventually to lower support, right? So that was a failed breakout. And then you can see when you entered into this channel, where really it started was with this underneath support from back here on June 28th all the way to June 30th. So a week and a half, and then it flushed down into it. And that started this rising channel. Actually, it goes back even farther. That was a different consolidation. This rising channel goes back a while. Look at that. There we go. And you can see a couple more times. Rejected, right? And this is that failed where it couldn't hold it and back tested failed and then got rejected back here, right? So that's what we're watching out for in the old Bitcoin price. If we look at the dollar had another up and down day, but a strong day overall, and it's had a phenomenally strong week. And if we zoom out, you can see the dollar's all the way up to a 25-year high. The last time it was this high was way back. You got to go to the Wayback Machine. The last time it was this high, it was way back here, all the way back here. We're at 106. Was all the way back here in 2002, right? That was the last time it was this high, and that was the beginning or the end of the tech bubble. When the tech bubble burst, right? That was the end of that. And then the dollar started tanking because they started printing money. And then what we got here, I got a lot of mumbo jumbo. We're going to draw this all out into the background. Get rid of that. That already makes it look so much clearer. Get rid of this one into the background. Now what we have here is this green line is where COVID happened, right? The COVID dump, and then the dollar flushed. And this whole area in here where the dollar flushed was the Fed printing money, the Fed lowering interest rates, the Fed continuing to say they're going to do that into the future. Then over in here, they started to talk that soon, the following year, they're going to start raising interest rates. And right here is the first rate hike, right? Right in that general region right there. What was it, mid-January? And you can see since they've started raising interest rates and doing quantitative tightening and reducing the government balance sheet allegedly, you can see the dollar has skyrocketed, right? And we're still waiting for our next check mark when the Fed pivots, because eventually the Fed will pivot because they're causing a massive recession, and then the dollar will go the other way. But until then, the dollar could actually come all the way up here to 120. I mean, I didn't think that was going to be possible a year and a half ago as this crisis was going. I thought the dollar was going to steadily in an up and down fashion trade lower. I did not envision at all a dollar going to 120 back in 2020. I seen how it could based on what people were saying, like Brent Johnson with the dollar milkshake theory and stuff. I just didn't think it would ever get to 120. I thought maybe about now is as high as it could really get. But the dollar could actually get up there if the Fed for another 6 months continues to do what they're doing with their interest rate hikes, because you can see since they started raising rates in January, the dollar is up 11.5%, and that's a massive move, right? And since they started thinking about maybe doing something, you can see the dollar now in hindsight, looking at it in the daily, had a nice double bottom right here and then started steadily consolidating up, leading into the first rate hike and then an accelerating up into the last couple of rate hikes. The dollar's continued to get stronger, and gold has had a very gold bullion has started to trade down. It's not having a horrible time. Mining stocks are having a horrible time, and the people are running out of that sector. I am still buying because the mining sector is way down, right? So if their mining sector is going to be cheap, I buy a steady allotment every week. I just kind of average in a few $100. Usually every week $100 or $200. It comes out to a month, right? Because the mining stocks are getting killed, even though gold, since its all-time high, is only down 15%. The mining stocks are down 50, 60, 70%, right? And gold looks like we're going to start to come into some of these lower targets. And the area that I'm targeting is back down in here at the bottom part of this falling wedge that we were in consolidation. And then if we look out here into the 4-hourly and get a little bit farther out, actually we need to go to the weekly, you can see this big consolidation here. Some of these lower targets are definitely in play, even as far down as maybe 1,500, right? You could come all the way down to there. Or if you break 1,500, I mean, I could see a way, maybe even Harry Dent's right with gold, that gold could have a 50, 60% fall from its high and come all the way back down maybe into the mean $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 range. I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see how, if I'm just looking at a chart, we need to clear some of this garbage out of here. Not garbage, but not needing, we don't need this up here right now. Let's get rid of that. And then let's get rid of this one. We can just delete that one. You can see if you're just looking at the chart, let's go out to the monthly. Look at this. You can see, I could see how you could come all the way back into this orange support zone, right? If we get the volume indicator up here, maybe that can give us some insight. The volume indicator, the fixed volume profile, all the way from the swing low, all the way up to current price. Oh, never mind. I can't do it because this is like the dollar. It doesn't give you the volume in the monthly. But I could see how you could come into that supply zone or maybe even test the 200-day moving average down here in the monthly time frame. And with the price note, that is $1,268, $1,269. I could see the price of gold bullion even flushing all the way down to there, right? I could see that. Do I think it's coming that low? No, but I could absolutely see it coming down there as this financial crisis tightens and people do a liquidity crunch and they need something. And what's something? Gold. Gold, when they're getting a margin call, they might have to go into something. And now if you look into the mining sector, something like Pan America Silver is getting slaughtered, right? Recently, it's going way down. And you can see it's about to trade back into the mean of the volume indicator, right? And if you break below this mean of the volume indicator, I could see Pan America Silver coming down to 10, even, I don't think $5. That would suck for me where I bought my first 20 shares at. But I could see it trading all the way back down to $10 to $14, right? When it was just at $37 last year, right? 2 years ago. I could see it trading all the way back down there in some kind of liquidity crunch, especially as silver continues to fall. But you can see eventually you got once, twice, 3 times up here eventually, and you have a steadily increasing price. You have a low, then you have a low, then you have a lower low, but still uptrending, some lows, uptrending, and current price. Eventually, even if you come back down to here, you're eventually going to blow by this in the next massive bull market in silver and gold, right? But I could see Pan America Silver coming down, and this is a good company, right? I'm invested in it. I think I got 20 shares of them, or yeah, I think 20 or 30 shares. It's like $1,300. But if it does flush all the way down into these levels, I'm going to be doubling down on this position. Kinross Gold, I have 500 shares of it, but I have bought all over the place in this. You can see Kinross is actually way below its all-time high. This is the monthly, and I started buying Kinross. Where was it at? It was off its all-time high. I think I bought my first shares back in here during the COVID crisis, right? Then I bought some right there, and then I bought some right there. And then I picked up a little bit last week down here. So my average price on this is like, it's up here somewhere, right at the top part of this white support zone, right? So it's not a great, I'm down on it, but I bought it all over the place, but I did not buy any up there, right? This is the monthly. Let's zoom out. I didn't buy anywhere up here, right? Way off the all-time high. My first shares that I bought from the all-time high and this that I still am holding, it was down about 80% from its all-time high. And then I bought shares down here, 85%, and then a little more there from its all-time high. So I didn't buy anywhere near the all-time high. But the price is still consolidating, and it looks like we're having some kind of a liquidation here into this price. So I could see Kinross coming down and retesting maybe the bottom part over here in the volume indicator. See this? All the way down there, which is about $2.45. And I will be buying more there because they pay a dividend. They're a good company. They're not going bankrupt. This one, GPL, I'm getting slaughtered on because I never envisioned it going down to 12. Right, from when it was in 60, 70 cent range. But I averaged in a bunch of shares and now own 10,100 of them at an average cost of like 31 or 32 cents. And I know they're not going bankrupt. They might do a stock split to bump the price up so they can get off the delisting problems because they don't want to go to the OTC market. But that's my one speculating one. B2 Gold, I have about 700 shares. And I didn't buy any up at its all-time high back then. I didn't buy any up in there. I have an average price on this of like $4.10-ish. It's down about 18 or 20%, but I didn't buy anywhere near the all-time high. From the all-time higher on this chart back here at $7. My shares, I bought them about 46% down if you average cost price per share, or average cost per share that I have. But they are down on the position right now. They were up when we were over here into this little rally right there. I was up about 15%, almost 20% right here on the shares that I had right at the time. So I was happy, and then it fell off. So I started buying more on the way down, right? But they pay a nice dividend, and they're not going anywhere. Fortuna Silver, I think I got 300 or 400 shares of them because I just actually purchased them. I swing traded this a couple times, but this one's highly volatile. I didn't buy any shares up there. My 400 shares, they are down on the position, but I bought them right here, right? $3.50, I think. So now it's $2.74. So it looks like a shitty purchase that I could have just waited a little longer, but I was buying them from its double top all-time high down. I was up in here somewhere, 64, almost 65% down from its all-time high, right from its 3 peaks. So I was buying it on a relatively cheap basis. If you look at its 20 or 11-year history on, I don't know if that's when this came out, but that's all this chart shows me. So I bought it towards its lower levels. So I figured they're not going bankrupt. They're a good company. Even if they wick down, I only have 400 shares. That's not that much money amount when it's only $3.50. I'll just double down if it comes down here to $2 or $1, right? And it's a good company, and I know they're not going anywhere. And then AEM, I bought 20 shares of this, which it was, in hindsight, it was bad timing because this one is the one I could see coming down the most, right? I could see the 20 shares I have. I could see this getting all the way down into here, and that would make this one horrible buy. But, I don't have that much money in it. It was like $1,100 total, and I bought it down here, right? I don't know, a bad purchase. I thought this was going to kick up to the next leg up, but this looks like it could be a little mini topping reversal pattern, or otherwise known as a mountain double top, right? And those are bearish reversal patterns at the top. And I could see if gold continues to have downward pressure, I could see this stock getting all the way into here and even falling all the way down into here, which would suck. But I would just buy more down there, right? Do I think it's coming that low? No. It's more than likely the case in this is it gets down into this range down in here, maybe flirts with this, and then I think it would start to trade back up. But that's still a $20 per share down almost from where I bought it. But I don't have that much of it. So that one and Pan America Silver are the only two that I really bought too early, because Kinross, Fortuna, and B2 Gold are on the relatively cheap side compared to their histories, right? So I'm not too worried about any of them. But timing on some, not the greatest, but I've been parceling in for the last few years on these these stocks, and I will continue to do so. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love. Peace and love.